Caught on camera, this cell phone video was taken by a bystander as a man was ticketed right outside a Middletown bar. But minutes later, a police officer confiscated the phone. And so now the question is, did police violate that witness's civil rights? It's come up time and time again here in Connecticut. Troubleshooter Sabina Kariakos investigates.
Amateur footage captures Middletown police officers ticketing a man outside a bar. But here's when tensions really mount with the crowd that's watching. A police sergeant reaches for the phone of a bystander who is recording the incident. Witnesses, many with their own phones pulled out, voiced their dismay.
This is just about the point where the officer realized I was videotaping him, and he came over to me and grabbed my phone out of my hand.
26-year-old Raymond Hassenfeld is a friend of the man getting the ticket. The two were among a group of friends at Hair of the Dog Bar on Main Street that August night. Later, Hassenfeld asks for his cell phone back.
They said basically they could do whatever they want.
They said that?
Pretty much, yeah.
The law generally allows citizens to record police performing their public duty, but officers can confiscate such footage as evidence. That's what Middletown Sergeant Sebastian Bartolotta tells Hassenfeld he's doing. Department records back him up. Here, there was no arrest, just a ticket issued for loitering to 31-year-old John Salafia, the man in the video. Hassenfeld and multiple witnesses who came forward to the NBC Connecticut troubleshooters claim his phone was taken because he may have captured video of police harassing Salafia.
The only evidence that it really clearly shows is the cops misusing their power and abusing other people, because that's what they could do.
The incident is troubling to some, like State Senator Martin Looney.
A loitering ticket is the sort of thing that generally the crime is, the offense is so minuscule that you would not normally be confiscating items. It looks to me like a dodge to try to justify what was arguably an improper act.
Mayor, in this instance, do you think that it's possible that that officer may have been acting with a heavy hand?
No.
Middletown Mayor Daniel Drew agreed to sit down with the troubleshooters for an interview. In part, he says, because he believes his officers did the right thing.
I was briefed by the chief of police and the command staff, and after watching the video myself, we're confident that they handled it the right way.
Mayor, he was seizing the cell phone as evidence for a loitering ticket.
Well, every case that we cite, every ticket an officer issues, every single incident that's going on has to be substantiated and could eventually get to court.
Mayor Drew says the officers were caught in a tense situation as a large crowd began forming around them. Still, no property receipt was ever given to Hassenfeld for his seized cell phone, as is procedure, according to the department.
Sure, what are you doing?
The right to record law enforcement on cell phones is an issue that's gotten a lot of attention over the past few years. Perhaps most infamous, the arrest of Catholic priest Father James Manship in East Haven 3 years ago. Still other images now notorious in the state. This New Haven scene in June that resulted in a police captain's suspension. And this YouTube video taken outside a New Haven nightclub 2 years ago with an officer's headline-grabbing words.
You don't take pictures of us. How's that? How do you shut this off?
It's an issue of mounting concern among civil rights activists. So what are your rights? We took the question to Sandra Staub of the ACLU. She says the officer may have violated Hassenfeld's civil rights by taking the phone while he was still recording.
I'd say if in that situation there were other options that would allow the recording to continue and the evidence to be collected without going so far as to stop the recording in the middle of it, then it sounds like there's a problem there.
And here's something else the troubleshooters noticed. Police surveillance cameras mounted throughout the city, one right across the street from where last month's incident happened.
What's the point of having taxpayer-funded surveillance cameras throughout that area if the police are going to confiscate a cell phone as evidence?
Well, it depends on where the cameras are pointed, but not every single camera is going to cover every inch of a block.
More often than not, there are lots of other ways to document what happened at a particular scene rather than confiscating a cell phone camera.
Senator Looney has twice introduced a bill that would allow citizens to sue if their right to videotape the police is violated. That bill has failed to pass the House.
That's me right there.
Meantime, Hassenfeld says he's left wondering how things went so far, so quickly.
It's not a weapon, it's a camera.
For the NBC Connecticut Troubleshooters, I'm Sabina Koreakos.
And Hasenfeld still hasn't gotten his cell phone back. The troubleshooters have requested the police surveillance footage from that night. We're still waiting to get it. Sabina also reached out to Sergeant Badalato for comment. He declined through the department.